Okay, with this one, as you can see, I jumped ahead quite a bit. I painted the symbol here on his chest. I finished putting some beading on the little possibles bag here on his chest. And that was really all that was really left to do. I've gone over it very closely looking for any thing that needs to be touched up, and I've touched them up. Just little spots here, little holidays as my friend called them, to make sure it's okay. I like the beading on here. It changed it quite a bit from just hanging plain there. So the only thing left to do, oh, I also stained and varnished my base. So it's ready to go. All we need is the nameplate, and we'll put that on probably tomorrow morning after the varnish is dry. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to take it over to the workbench and take him apart and varnish it. Okay, I'm over here at the workbench getting ready to varnish this. Got my stuff here. I got my little 1-inch brush that I can pick up at Walmart or over at Lowe's. I'm going to just sit there and give it some rough handling here to get rid of any loose hairs. I get about 4 uses out of this, sometimes just 3, after I clean it, after using it each time. And then I just toss it away, rather than buy a fancy brush, which generally ends up getting solid as a rock because I forgot to clean it out. So I'm sure a lot of other people have that same problem. So anyway, I've got my Minwax polyurethane varnish here. This is warm satin. As you can see here, Julia shoot it in the can. You can see it has a satin. Well, you can't see that, but I mean, you can see it has an amber look, amber cast to the color. I like that. That gives your carving a little warmth, which I think is better than, say, a water-based varnish, which would make your carving look cold, which you don't want. So anyway, I'm going to take them apart here. Set that off to the side. I got my sticks here I'll use to hold them, and some clamps there to hold the sticks. Take things off here. I went ahead, because these are fairly flat, I went ahead and I sprayed them with some, well, here I'll show you what it is. You can buy this down at Walmart or Lowe's, I think. This is good. It says matte, but it'll give you just a little bit of sheen, which is fine. Looks good. We just set that off to the side there. Now this was sprayed first with matte, and then I came back and gave it another coat of satin finished, same brand, which gives it a little sheen, which is nice. I don't want it real shiny. I just want a little sheen on it. Okay. So we'll take our stick here. Get my brush. And when I paint the varnish on there, I really flood the area, because a lot of this varnish is going to soak in, and besides giving you a good varnish, coat of varnish, it also strengthens the wood. And at the same time, as you can see, it will change the color of the wood. I'll show you here. See there? The same color as if you wet it. And where there's open grain, like up here at the top, In this area up here, it really soaks in. So I just put a lot on there. Care if it drips a little, because I'm going to come back in just a minute and kind of wipe it off just a bit to get rid of that excess varnish. And also you got to, these brushes aren't the best brushes, so you got to kind of watch for the hair. There's one right there. We get that off of there. Come off of there. Right there it goes. So if you use these brushes, you want to keep your eyes open, on the lookout for a brush hair if it happens to pop off. Just looking for spots where the varnish hasn't soaked in. You can see here already how much deeper the colors are now than they were before. So we'll just set him back here. And because we use real thin washes on this face, it'll really soak in up here. You see how shiny this up here on top? You just watch by the time I get the rest of it painted. That'll all be flat up there because it will have almost all soaked in. See there? It's already flat. See it? No shine up there. So we'll just put some more up there and let it soak in some more. You'll also notice that I'm using a varnish, commercial varnish. I'm not using boiled linseed oil. We don't do that around here. It looks flat already up there, so all that double coated it, it's still soaked in. So I'm going to put some more up there. And we're going to set that right there. I'm going to tip it up here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go clean my brush. And I'll be back here in a second, and we got one more step to do. Okay, I went out and I cleaned my brush. Got a couple of little errant hairs around here. I have a brush spinner. It's where you take a brush and you stick it up inside of it and you just spin it real fast for a while, and it just takes out all the cleaner, in this case mineral spirits, from your brush and leaves it nice and clean. It just gets rid of everything. The centrifugal force just cleans your brush up. Saves you lots of money over time. Okay, I have here just a piece of paper towel. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lightly go over the piece where it's shiny and bright and just kind of wipe, very gently wipe those away. You don't want to do it very hard. You want to just very gently just sort of blot it. Don't use a piece of cloth, a piece of toilet paper. Use a piece of paper towel, and that way you won't leave fuzz on your piece. You won't get all the shine away, but just remember this is a flat varnish, and it's not really flat once it dries. It's going to have just a little shine to it, a little bitty shine to it. So we'll just work this and get most of this off of there. It doesn't, you don't have to get everything off. It's fine just the way it is right now. There's another hair. Just keep your eyes out for those hairs. Even if you bought an expensive brush, you're going to end up getting hairs on it. You can already see that it's not really shiny anymore. It's just sort of a satin finish. But as it dries, even that would be reduced. And where we put the paint on here pretty heavy right here, that will stay shiny, but we're going to kill that later on, tomorrow morning, once we come down here and put it all together. Now that's not paint there, that was a blemish in the wood. There we go. Got all our parts done. Everything. See here, this has just a little bit of shine to it. Not a lot, just a little bit. See how it kind of just a soft satin finish. This one here, just a soft satin finish. It's just what you want. Okay? So that'll do it for this part, and then tomorrow morning we'll put it all back together, glue it together, mount it on its stand, and then add the most important thing to it. Well, actually, we have to do two more important things to bring the piece to life, okay? So we'll do that tomorrow morning. So till then, I'll talk to you. Had a little glitch with the camera there. I can't really see what we've done yet. So anyway, I've used epoxy. I've centered his head to the post here with some epoxy. I've glued his head on. That's okay. So, what do you think here? All right. Whoa. fails, when things happen, they've happened at the most critical times. Fortunately. Alright, I'm going to take a little bit of glue and place it in this hole here. I already see one mistake I've made. I'm going to take his head off. This is what happens when you're in a rush, and we're in a rush this morning. I need to give you some more glue here. Got to work fast because it's going to set up. I'm going to get this done. Judy has to go down to the hospital and volunteer today. There's the epoxy there on his strap. So, okay. We're going to sit and wait just a bit. Get rid of this before there's another accident. Another thing I forgot. Damn it, damn it, damn it. Excuse my language. Another little bit of glue on my toothpick. Okay, so we're finished with the epoxy now. Sorry. Sorry for the goof up. But these things happen. Okay, for the feather. Got my super glue here. Put some right down into that hole there, where the feather is. Put some on the nail. Okay. Put the feather in place like that. That should be okay. So now we're working along pretty good. For my earrings. You can see the little hole right there. I'll slide that in there like that. Make sure I get the right feather on the right side. Whoops. Right earring on the right side. Actually, that went on the wrong side, so here's the right side. This is what happens when you hurry. epoxy right there. Look at this presentation here, exactly where we want it. Go get the black piece of paper. I like to leave these earrings loose. I like the little movement in the piece. There's one more thing that I need to do, and that's need to mix me up just a dollop of epoxy. Won't take much. You can see when I say a drop, it's a drop. Stir that up. Being careful not to scratch the paper. And this will bring him to life. Okay, with the smallest end of the toothpick. And these toothpicks are just about the same size. So I'm going to take that little end, I'm going to get it in my epoxy. I'm going to pick up just the smallest little dot. See it there on the end of the toothpick? Very, 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 very carefully, I'm going to put it right on his black part of his eye. See what happened? I'll put a little bit more. See that highlight? Let me do it on the other eye again. I give it a little bitty dot. You have to do this very carefully. You don't want to have it touch the outer edges of the pupil. There, that one shows up real well. That's much better than a white spot in the paint. That's a little better. It's just enough. You don't want that white spot to overpower, and if you use paint, that's what's going to happen. This thing will be as bright as the surrounding light. If there's no light, you won't see anything there. You might see something, you might be surprised, but if there's a lot of light, you'll see that little bitty dot. Sometimes you'll see two dots, depending on if there's a couple lights in the room. But it just brings your carving to life, just makes a total difference. If you can zoom in on your computer to see that, I think you'll agree that it's just the right amount. It's perfect. So that completes this carving. I think it looks really nice. The only thing left now is the name tag. And I'm not going to put that on now because I don't want to move this around while we've just glued everything together and it's still wet. But this one says Winter's Warrior. Can you see that, Judy? Hopefully you can see that. And with my name on it. And I get these from a place up in New York State called Halleck's Trophies. It's one of the best places I've found to do these. They whip them out in no time at all, and they're inexpensive, which is nice. So what I'll do is I'll just, gently bend this, being careful, to match the front of the piece. And they give you a couple little brads. Actually, they may give you screws. If they give you screws, throw those away. Go down to Home Depot or Walmart or Hobby Lobby will have them too, and buy you some little nails. In my little goodie box here, I keep all kinds of stuff. These little nails right here work perfect for anchoring those name tags to your piece. And drill you a little hole smaller than the nail. Hold it up there. Line it up. Drill you a little hole. Just do this one at a time. Put one in, and then after that's where you need it, you can move this other one to where you need to go with it, and drill the hole there and put your name tag on that. And this little name tag, besides telling you what the carving is about, also improves the base. Everything added together is what makes your piece special. So that's going to do it with this video. Thanks for following along. Sorry for the glitches there, but in the end it turned out to be a nice little piece. And until we start the next series, which I hope will be a full figure, I'll talk to you later.